Good morning, you're listening to Radio Warrington, and this is Mike Keeling, and it's Movers and Shakers time, our regular business show, where we talk to local business people, local charity movers and shakers. Interesting one today. My guest is Stuart Snowden. Now, if I mention that name, people may not know who that is, but if you're on social media in the Northwest, you probably know him better as the Grumpy Northern Foodie. So good morning, Stuart. How are you?
Morning, Mike. I'm well, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm good. We've just been chatting food off air, which I think is going to be a regular theme.
Absolutely.
The reason why we've got Stuart on the show today is that he's a bit of a champion for local businesses, and particularly in the hospitality sector. Food is, or the food sector is struggling at the moment. I think we can all agree. Anything we can do to make life easier for local businesses in that space has got to be a good thing. So that's why Stuart's here today to talk about what he does. How he operates in Warrington and the local towns, helping businesses succeed. So,
absolutely.
But as I said before, people don't really know Stuart the person. They know the Grumpy Northern Foodie. I can see you're all branded up today. So tell us a little bit about you first, Stu. Where you're from and how come you got into this business?
So, I'm based in Runcorn, so I've been based around the country for...
We won't hold that against you.
I know, I try not to hold it against myself, to be fair, but we live in Runcorn. Runcorn's home, and I've been based around the country in various types of roles that I've done before. Social media is a new world, I would say, and being almost 40 is still a world where I'm trying to, in a simple way, get my head around it. We fell into doing this by just literally messing around on a video on TikTok with food in the air fryer. We were cooking random things in the air fryer and with the kids, and all of a sudden, woof, off it went, and the views just started to rack up, the followers started to rack up, and we kept going. I started doing this full time about a year and a half ago, so I was working in procurement. In an office.
Oh, sorry, what's procurement?
Procurement is basically you could go and procure services and goods for companies. So I was actually working for a Warrington-based, well, technically Warrington, I was working for Hoover, who obviously sponsor Warrington Walls and that one, and I was working in the procurement department, and basically it was you kind of go to the market and try and get the best deals you can for anything from marketing services all the way through to, goods that you put into washing machines, etc. So I was in that department and ended up doing two jobs in a sense, because the social media part absolutely took over. When my son was born, Arthur, I took a bit of paternity leave. I did 4 weeks. I did 4 weeks, and within that 4 weeks, the babies sleep a lot, so I had a lot of time to spend on sort of doing stuff on social media, and we saw the benefits coming through from it to go, actually this could turn into something bigger, and from that point we'd set our sights on doing it. So me and my wife, and it's just grown from there and keeps growing.
So would you call yourself a late adopter of social media or an early adopter?
In the sense of being a content creator, as I call it, I would say maybe mid-range. So everybody goes on social media at some point. So I've had an Instagram page for absolute years called the Grumpy Northern Foodie. When I was based in London 15 years ago, ad hoc, post a bit here, post a bit there about food, maybe playing on that mentality of being from the north. Generally people might be grumpy. But after that, it sort of flew with it. So I'd say mid-range. If I was to start this now, I don't think I would get to where I am today, because anybody can, and probably should if they feel up to it, go onto social media and be able to make a video straight from your phone, straight from, you can get the kit you can use these days, quite inexpensive really, and put yourself out there. So going viral seems to be an aspiration for a lot of people, but it doesn't necessarily need to go viral. You can create something around it. People watch social media all the time.
So what kind of audience have you got in terms of, if you put it in numbers, how many followers have you got?
We've just hit over 767,000 across all the platforms. So
that sounds like an awful lot to me. How does that compare to like Kim Kardashian?
Nothing compared to that. Absolutely nothing. When you're in the millions on one platform. So ours is spread across all four: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Which is the biggest one for you?
It's TikTok. So we've got 375,000 followers on there. So half the following is on. Almost half the following is on TikTok. Facebook and Instagram have grown over time. They're a good mix. A couple of 100,000 on Facebook, 170,000 on Instagram. And YouTube, we just started our YouTube channel properly, and that's sort of growing, about 11,500 subscribers and jumping up 1,000 subscribers each month. We're just keep going. We started to make some more long form content for YouTube, which has really helped build up what we're doing.
Right, okay. So I do use it, I spend a lot of time on YouTube, but what I'm seeing now is a lot more of the short form stuff as well. It's almost like YouTube have realised that there's a lot of people watching short videos on TikTok. They need to get a piece of that action. Is that how it's operating?
So I think they're really pushing the short form content in the YouTube Shorts because, and it works as well for any content creators out there because that builds your audience. That's where you gain a lot of your subscribers from, people who want that quick fix. Scroll fix. And they are pushing that because it is where all the other platforms are focused on. Instagram, you can't post a reel over 3 minutes because it doesn't go to non-followers. So at short form's where it is. But long form content has been, as we were discussing very briefly before, it started to take over people watching it on TV as well. Yeah. So people will watch YouTube more than they watch ITV in the percentage of TV that's watched. So that long form content in the background is still growing. You've got the huge people like Mr. Beast who spend £1 million on a shoot or whatever they spend. It's a lot of money, and they make a 3-hour-long video, and people watch it relentlessly. So it sort of goes hand in hand. But the short form is an audience builder.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I've not got to the point in life yet where I've got it on my TV at home.
No,
I'm still the 5 channels, and then I'll watch the rugby and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I do spend a lot of time on my phone watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Never posted a video. I don't think I ever will do. I can't get over that embarrassment factor. I mean, that must be really hard to begin with.
I never used to put my face on it. It literally just used to be hands in front of the camera doing some cooking. But as soon as I kind of switched and put the personality across on there and sort of put your own face on and do that, that's when it went boom. And that's when it grew more, because putting a face to a name and putting a face to what you do, it makes it a little bit more human for people looking through the screen.
Did you plan to do this, or did it just happen accidentally?
It became a plan when it grew to a point, but no, this was just something that we did accidentally. It was more kind of, let's just put something out there that's crazy and try it. And I'm 40 this year, and I still look at it and go, I'm sure this is a young person's game, but yet I seem to have.
Hey, like I said before, I've got shirts older than you.
Yeah, I know, but I still sort of pinch yourself sometimes and go, is this the reality of where we're living? And I'm very grateful for it. It's built where I am today, and being able to this part that's grown is able to support having my own business that I work with my wife as well. So as a family, we're building a family business, and I think. I kind of look at it as it's an opportunity. If we have an opportunity, we can really, really kind of, grow it into something else. Everybody wants to retire early. You want to build for a future. So if we can tap into this opportunity, then why not? Is what I think.
Though the idea of retirement actually fills me with horror, but I don't know.
It's a bit scary. I don't think people retire as much these days as such. They kind of still do something, even if it's a couple of days a week. And likelihood there's probably a need for a lot of people to do that these days rather than a want to. But
True.
That's just the way life is at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a bit about your background then. So you told me you live in Runcorn.
Yep.
Where did Stuart start?
So Runcorn, went to school in Frodsham. Frodsham School's not there anymore, it's a leisure centre. Went to Winniston Runcorn Sixth Form College when that was still there as well. I think it kind of integrated into Cronton now. I'm not too sure the kind of background. Tried university. I went to university to do hospitality management, and within this course, it's called a sandwich course, which is bizarre, isn't it, being a hospitality thing? But obviously, the sandwich course puts you in a work placement for a year. Hit that work placement, and then didn't want to go back. I stayed working in the hospitality industry, right down from waiter all the way through to general manager, some large restaurants in London in the end.
Big ones that you can name, or?
I'll keep that one. I don't want people to know. Not that there's any problems with it, but I kind of leave that, put that part behind and stuff like that one. So, but one of them was a rooftop terrace overlooking St Paul's Cathedral, and it was
very nice.
It was turning over £8-9 million a year. Big business. Obviously, it's London hospitality, and
of course.
That's what it is. So from that point though, it takes over your life. I think the industry is a little bit different now. People are a bit more aware of your work-life balance, but you're working 80, 90, 100 hours a week all the time, and at some point you sort of sit there and go, what am I doing? How can I? Can't afford a house in London. Doesn't matter what salary you're on, unless you've got a lot of money, you can't. And then kind of go, well, what am I doing here? Where am I going to go from this? It's like a pyramid in any business. The further up you go, there's more people trying to get there, but there's less jobs available. Your next step is an operations manager or director, etc. So I just sort of took the decision and went, I'm going to get out of London, had enough of the lifestyle, had enough of the busyness, moved back to Runcorn, where I'm from, and my rent in London at that point was £1,600 a month for something that's probably as big as these two studios.
Yeah.
And that's the whole flat, to a mortgage in Runcorn of £400 for a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah. Big difference.
So reinvent a career, started working in admin, and then, as I said, was in procurement, so kind of built my way back through to that. And then
did you keep your hand in on the food side of things? How did you do that?
I did. So we wanted to kind of just still keep eating out and going out and enjoying food. But at that point, it was kind of maybe a mentality shift to stick away from it. Always, and it's still an ambition of mine to open my own place. And, platform that I've got now might be a bit more of a better opportunity. But, for anybody who's got an independent business, you need the idea, the concept, the cash flow, the right space to kind of open a place. And that I've got an opportunity now where that may happen down in the next couple of years. But before, it just wasn't on the cards to do so. So kind of kept my hand in it. I like to cook. On my channels, I don't cook enough anymore, which is something we want to do, but that's just the nature of what I do.
Because, you can't spread yourself too thin.
No, and you know what? Sounds very negative when I say this one, but anybody with a camera can film themselves cooking, and that's great, but it's very saturated on social media now. And unless you're doing something very different, very much built that audience up and out there, or something that's very much a niche, so healthy food, prep meals, etc., and you've got that audience, you're just shouting into the distance, really. So we started to do some food reviews, and everybody does food reviews. Everybody sits in the car and does food reviews, but we took a bit of the background that I've worked in hospitality, for tasting food, trying food all the time, and went, right, well, you know what? I'm not saying I've got a refined palate, but I understand at times what can be good and what's bad, and let's go with that and start to roll that flow. So.
And your audience is, what kind of people are you aiming at?
The audience is so broad across each platform, so it sort of has an age shift is the main one. Facebook is, from my analytics, people are kind of 35 upwards.
People like my mum and dad are in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, probably, and maybe, but stuff like that. Well, I am heavily on Facebook, and then Instagram kind of shifts down a little bit, so you're talking 25 to the 35 range, and then TikTok is your early 20s up to kind of 25 to 30 again. So people are on there, but they're not as active in that one. And each platform has its own different flow you've got to kind of build on, and each video has to have that little bit of a difference on there to resonate with an audience, etc. So, but what I've generally found is the audience are people who are looking for good value, budgeting, or to go, I've seen this viral product, I've seen this product that this company's brought out, supermarket, etc. Is it any good? Should I try it or not? And that's what the audience are after.
So you're not just reviewing restaurants?
No, we do supermarket food a lot as well. So
okay.
Takeaways, yes, we do bits and pieces, but we go to restaurants, go to the takeaways, but we also do a lot of the supermarket food out there, because, there's two ways to kind of look at it. These big supermarkets, some of them, it's not saying all of them, let's be honest with you, are pumping out some poor food and not good for your food. Some of the nice stuff, some of the viral food that they do, the one-offs, they can taste good in that one, but they're also really expensive. So let's see what we can do and see. I think this is a value for money. You might enjoy it. I might not, but people can look at it and go, shall I or shall I not? It's the trending thing at the moment.
Fair enough. Right, well, we're just going to take a little bit of a break and we'll play some music. As you regular listeners, to say regular, this is only my second show, but regular listeners probably know that I ask our guests to give us some tunes. Absolutely. And then we'll have a bit of a chat. So we're going to play 3 pieces of music, I think, 2 of which are Stuart's choice before we come back. And I think we might see a bit of a theme appearing.
Might do, yeah.
So let's go to Oasis with Digsy's Diner to begin with. Welcome back to Movers and Shakers. We're here with Stu Snowden, otherwise known as the Grumpy Northern Foodie. I keep wanting to call you the Great Northern Foodie.
I mean, you can do if you want, but I wouldn't go that far.
Well, the Great Northern Experience is it's in Manchester, isn't it? That's probably where it's coming from. And I can see the branding on your T-shirt and think it's got to be Great Northern. Anyway, so we've played a couple of tunes there. Dodgy wasn't one of yours, but the first one that we played was Digsy's Dinner.
Yeah.
So Why did you choose that?
Well, it's food-based, and to be fair, I love singing in the car with the kids. That's why. So we always whack it on to just have a good sing along in the car. So Ollie, who's 9, he'll be listening now. He obviously loves playing Dixie's Dinner, so just have some fun with it, and that's why I picked that one. And I love Oasis as well, so that is and to be fair, some of the songs that they play is probably not suitable for the
one that they open all their gigs with probably isn't worth talking about.
Exactly. So stuff like that one, but yeah, it's just good fun and we enjoy it.
Fair enough. And it's not perhaps one of the most popular of Oasis tracks.
No, it's not.
A little bit niche.
Absolutely. But I listened to it when I was growing up, so I really enjoyed that. And it's just one of those songs that it's almost in a sense a bit nonsensical for a song, but having lasagna, it's great fun.
You have just pointed out to me the difference in age here, because you did say you were listening to them when you were growing up.
Yeah, I know.
What year would that have come out? Mid-90s?
Oh, yeah, mid-90s, but the first album I ever bought or got given was Story Morning Glory by Oasis. So even that was their third, I think, on the top of my head, album that was out. So obviously then, once you start growing up listening to it, I had a lot of mates who were into Oasis as well, and we just... I even got to see them when I was about 15 at the Old Trafford Cricket Ground. And I went to Wembley to see them recently, and the Old Trafford Cricket Ground was so much better. Properly, I missed out on getting tickets to Heaton Bar, but and since then it's always just been that background in my life is Oasis music, as you do once you start listening to something, it sticks with you. And obviously then from that point it grew into some of the other songs that I picked, Smiths, Stone Roses. They just kind of, with all that kind of Manchester era, it's...
So you're a honorary Manc, would you say?
I would say a Manc at heart, but I can't profess. I only lived there for a couple of years while through uni and stuff like that. Yeah, so but than that, it's I like going out to Manchester. It's the vibe in the city is brilliant at the moment. So
I always say to people that if Manchester had a beach, it'd be perfect. Now I know I'm paraphrasing probably somebody like I don't know, it was Anthony Wilson, but I think that's absolutely true. There's something about Manchester; it's got a swagger. I'm bound to say that because I am a Manc.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my daughter is 26 and she is all about Liverpool. Yeah. But she was born in Stockport. Oh. But she thinks that Liverpool's the best place, whereas I would always gravitate towards Manchester.
Well, funnily enough, growing up, but where was the easiest way to go out when I was growing up was actually to get the train to Liverpool. So going out, maybe heading out towards Concert Square, some of the old... I lived in Liverpool for a couple of years as well, so and the bar scene... Now we're talking... Now I'm going to sound old, even though I'm not that old. We're talking 20, 25 years ago kind of stuff.
Hopefully not 25 years ago, if you're just coming up to 40.
No, so 20 years ago, thinking of something. Yeah, but that kind of time frame, it was great fun, and that was easiest. It's a quick train ride from the side of Runcorn I was on into Liverpool, and that's where everybody went. Manchester, I actually never, even though I lived there, we kind of went out quite a bit. But after that, I never really touched it. I moved to London, so I was way out of the way. And then since I've been moved back on north, I gravitate towards going out in Manchester. I think it's just the scene, the vibe, the fun. It reminds me of London and the time I lived there without. There's a lot of people, but without the mass of people. The tram system's great. You can get around so easily. Obviously, I'm a United supporter, so getting into Manchester and, for the matches as well, when I get a chance. Train in, tram across, it's just all part of that buzz and atmosphere as well.
And that brings us on to the other track you chose,
absolutely.
Which is This Is The One. So I know why you chose it. Would you like to tell the listeners why you chose it?
Well, it's obviously the song that comes on when United come out onto the pitch.
Yeah.
So
it's a big tune, isn't it? It's a big anthemic tune.
The one memory that sticks in my mind about it is when I took Ollie to the football as well. So it was his first. We'd been to some friendlies, but it was his first proper match. It was Nottingham Forest beating 4-2 when Onana let in 2 goals at the start of the first 5 minutes, and it boomed. And they really cranked the volume up, and it boomed. And you could see everybody enjoying it, but you could see obviously he turned around and just looked at me and went, "That is loud." I'm like, yeah, that's what it's about. But you can feel it in the atmosphere in that one. And, I went to the Leeds game. We lost against Leeds recently. And it was just, again, it was just that kind of boom around the stadium. It gets that feeling going. I always think, for any supporter, it'd be the same for Liverpool fans when You'll Never Walk Alone comes on. Yeah. It's, we're not saying that it's just United, but every fan's have their base, but it's that feeling when it comes out. So I do enjoy listening to that one. It just takes you back there and reminds you of it all. I even got to play at Old Trafford once before. Weirdly enough, won a competition with Cadbury's. Okay. So Cadbury's are doing a play at Old Trafford competition. I entered it. I thought nothing of it. I get a text on the phone. I was like, this must be a scam. This must be a scam. So sort of had a look, and checking online. Well, this could be real. Sent it to him, like, yeah, you've won a place. So we got to go to Old Trafford for the day. They split the teams into two halves, home and away team. I was in the home team, sat on, got in there. The kits are lined out in the changing rooms. Where Rashford usually, well, no, it's not there now, but where Rashford was, that was where my kit was. I'm like, this is the most bizarre thing ever. You got to walk down the tunnel, Fred the Red was there. Nobody was in the crowd, obviously, but got to play on the pitch. Yeah. And they put the tune on when it came out as well, which was great. And obviously, there's the voice of Old Trafford, as you know, Alan, isn't it? I think off the top of my head, but he was obviously commentating on the match as well and introducing everybody. And then he was like, as we're there on the pitch, he's like, and today we're going to be playing with Quentin Fortune. Quentin Fortune's on the pie. And you're like, it's just the most bizarre thing I've ever done. But it reminds me of those kind of memories where you get to do the weirdest things and that you wouldn't ever do again. So stepping out into Old Trafford,
once in a lifetime. Yeah, I know.
So it's
fantastic. And it comes before I Am the Resurrection on the first Stone Roses album, which is an absolute banger.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was difficult, to be fair, because I wanted to pick a few other Stone Roses tracks, but that was the one that kind of stuck out in my mind. It
was great when I saw the list come through. I thought, this guy's got impeccable tastes. So let's go back to what you do. I was going to say the day job, because it's kind of, is it your day job?
It is, yeah.
It is the day job.
This is the day job now.
A marketing agency as well.
We do. So we do. My wife has joined working with me full time, so we decided to. I was saying before, using this as an opportunity to open our own business, and we are on social media, so we do social media for smaller businesses that are local to us, and not just food, all types of businesses that we do.
What's the name of that business? You may as well plug it while you're here.
GNF Socials. So we're sticking with the brand.
Fair enough.
Everything is GNF that we do. So, and my wife. Started working full-time about 2.5 months ago with the agency as well, and we are growing rapidly to the point where we're looking to bring some people on as well and work with us. So we're using it as an opportunity to grow the business. What I do online, nobody will care about in 4 or 5 years. They'll be like, not this idiot again and stuff like that. So I've seen enough of him for the past 10 years. So at the end of that, what might I be left with? So we're definitely trying to build something that we've got a future for, family business.
And you mentioned before now that business is the social media presence is the shop window. That's changed massively in a very short period of time, in my view. I mean, where do you see things are going in that way?
It's difficult to kind of predict. So when I mentioned about the shop window, we've done, so not we personally, we found the research that's out there about how many people kind of look on social media for a business beforehand. You used to be able to, Yellow Pages, Thompson Local, whatever, put that out there, look in the newspaper, the local paper. That's all shifted online as well. So people can check websites. Google's still probably the biggest search engine around, but the social media platforms are turning into search engines. That's what they want. They want, when you're posting content, they want you to do content that's based around search terms that people are looking for. Now, a lot of people go, let's talk about food. I want to go out for something to eat. I want to go out for something to eat in Warrington tonight. I've got an idea, I want to try something different, straight on social media. Yeah. Or 75% of people would go straight on social media. What's to eat in Warrington? And the first top trending videos will come up. Let's say, obviously we're based in the market here. Let's say the market pops up and then they can see all the 12 venues that are in there. Oh, I fancy that one, but I don't, but the husband or the partner or the kids don't want to eat, they don't want to eat Mexican food, but then they can have a pizza because they can see in the same place. And then it also builds on. And if they don't go that night, they'll go, do you know what, save that, we'll go next Tuesday. Yeah. And that's all off social media. No phone call, no kind of book a table. You can book tables in restaurants through social media now. You need no interaction with anybody at all. And that's kind of how it's going. It's probably taken a bit of that personality away, or the personability, where you would be able to phone a restaurant, book a table for 2, Saturday, 7 o'clock, here's the number, phone back, you get a phone call to confirm. It's all email, all done on socials now. Yeah. But it also gives businesses access to a huge range of people that they might not have had access to before. So let's talk about Warrington as the example. Would people from further afield, maybe Chester through to Liverpool, Manchester, etc., come down to Warrington before? Maybe, but now they can see it in front of them without having to try and search specifically online or things like that. They may travel further in. They don't want to be out in the town today. They want to come down. It's not just it's the outlying areas as well, isn't it? So that's how the kind of social media world works.
Well, it's interesting you to say that. So the question that I was asked, it was a challenge actually by another mover and shaker from Warrington when I mentioned that you were coming on the show, was I thought you were all about Warrington as a show. And I said, well, yeah, but the Stuart champions businesses in Warrington.
Yeah.
But he said, yeah, but he was also got an audience outside Warrington. So how would you respond to that? If I was to say, okay, why have we got you on when you're not a Warrington business?
Yeah.
How would you answer that?
Well, to be fair, the businesses are online now anyway. Yeah. So, your audience is much bigger than it used to be as a kind of Warrington-based focus. So let's say, using the kind of term local and stuff like that one, local is grown differently. It's become something different. People will come in to an area if they've seen it from local areas. So, we champion businesses everywhere we go. We went for a little trip to Haven down in Porthmadog a couple of weeks ago to try and take a break. And I did one of our food crawls around Porthmadog. Now, I'm not from Porthmadog, but people visit and they'll be able to see on my platform to go. And people have said, I've never heard of that place. Even locals who were there had never heard of that place, but they've seen it because when social media works, if you tag places in there or the area, you pop up onto people's feeds and they've gone. So that local independent might have picked up a bit more business for it. Warrington for me is, I would like to say, local. Runcorn is local, so is Widnes, but so is Warrington. It's actually quicker to get to Warrington for me, being on the kind of the train line from the Runcorn East station through, than it is to get a taxi over to the other side of Runcorn. And so why would we not come and champion places and businesses around? It's what we do.
Good answer. Fair enough.
No.
So what's your what do you want to? Presumably, your food stuff is driving business to your agency.
Well,
is that kind of the plan, or is it what are your aims with the? Is it a blog? Would you describe what you do as a blog? I'm an old bloke. I don't necessarily know the right terminology.
A lot of people use the term influencer because that's based around influencing people. Yeah. But the kind of terminology used is content creator. Now, content varies in so many different ways. Content is from graphic design is content you can do.
Yeah.
Videos is content you can do. Pictures, words, anything around is content. So the kind of terminology where in the world that I'm working in is content creation. Some people hate what I do. Some people think I'm an idiot. Some people love it. Some people religiously follow me. That's the same in any business. But yeah, content creation is what we do. When we're talking about the social media side, does it come hand in hand with it? Yes. Was that the plan? No. But it seems to have kind of gone together and built. To give an idea, we spoke to a few people, and this is where the idea kind of came from for it. I mean, not that it's not somebody else's, it's not my idea. Everybody does it. And we spoke to, I think it was Frodsham Food and Drink Festival over a year ago, and we spoke to somebody who's running one of the stalls there, and they had a business in Camden, which is great, in Camden Market, so they were booming there. And they had another business over in Manchester way. And out of pure interest, I just asked the questions like, what do you do with your socials? Do you do it yourself? And they're like, we do, because what we got charged, or what was wanting to be charged, was extortionate. I just, being cheeky, I said, can you tell me how much? And she showed me. And I can't even remember what the place called in that one. And it was, she was talking £600-700 a month per site, just for them to post online for them. She had to get all the content, she had to do it all. And and I said, wow. And she was like,
even I, as an old bloke, think that's expensive.
Well, and she said, and there's a 6-month waiting list. I just said to my wife after, I said, what is going on? Why are people charging that extortionate amount?
It's money for rope, isn't it?
You can, to also for that person to then go and get their own content, that one. So we sort of went, we know what goes into the balance of it, and we know how, just posting online isn't the biggest time thing. It's getting the content is the time consuming thing. And that meant that there's a market for a business-wise, but also that is inaccessible to small businesses. And actually, small businesses are the ones who are the busiest. The bigger businesses can employ people to do this full-time or part-time or whatever, These small businesses are kind of going, I've got to look after the books, I've got to check the stock, I've got to buy the stock, I've got to worry where, and some people worry if I can pay the staff again, or make sure Saturday's busy, we've got a busy thing up. They are doing a million things, and at the end of the day, they sit there and go, I haven't posted again for 3 days. I'm going to be in their shop front. That's for them, that could be business that's not coming in. They are too busy. They do what they do best, which is running a business, cooking the food, being part of their customers, talking to people. That's what they do best. So we kind of went, we can do a lot of this stuff that these agencies are charging for a lot less, and we kind of went, let's do it. Let's talk to businesses. People want to use us, great. If they kind of get we've got experience in what we're doing, please do come on board. We always have a chat with people. We're always honest and say, we think you can do it yourself. We're not going to try and run and go, right, okay, you're great, get on board, charge them, and then they struggle, if we think we can do it. We also give every business we speak to, we say, there's no cost to it. Come and talk to us. If you've got an idea, if you've got any tips and hints, we will try and answer as best as possible. So we try and just work like that, but we don't go in at those kind of prices. It's extortionate. So we're trying to give it accessible to smaller businesses.
That's good, which is why we're here.
Yeah, of course. Fantastic.
So in terms of let's ask you a couple of really quick fire questions.
Go for it.
So, what's your favourite local venue?
Now, am I allowed to talk about Runcorn for the other guy? No, I'm only joking. To be fair. Actually, one of my favourites at the moment is the Bluebell in town in Warrington.
Right.
Really enjoy going in there at the moment. So we. And I do a full range of it. The one thing I haven't been in to get is the Sunday roast yet, because they're always fully booked. So we have to give that a try. But I just like the history behind it and I like the atmosphere. I've had a good chat with the owners as well. Got to know them really well, and I like what they're doing in the background. And the big champions of wanting to just grow and build. So yeah, I do like the Bluebell in town at the moment. So locally, yeah, but there is so many. I'll waffle a bit, but I'll be quick about it. We did a food call through Widnes yesterday. Now. I'm grown up next to Widnes and Runcorn. We're grown up in Runcorn, and just the perceptions that people sometimes have on the towns is there's nothing there. You'd be surprised. There is some amazing venues. We went into a little cafe yesterday. I can call it, name it. It's called Mar and Jar Cafe, and the gents who own it are making the most wonderful cakes. They've got past experience working in Gordon Ramsay's restaurants and patisserie.
Wow.
And we walked in and we tasted it and we were just like, these are incredible, and this is in Widnes. You're like,
yeah.
Would you? It should be there, but would you think? And that's nothing against Widnes. I've got stuff like, but you kind of like people's perceptions of a place. You don't realise what's going on in the town. So
things have changed so much as well. When I moved to Warrington, which was in 2000, it was a wasteland. Cultural wasteland. We wouldn't dream of, me and my ex-wife, we wouldn't dream of coming into Warrington to go out for a meal.
No.
Because there just wasn't the choice. There was just nothing there.
Yeah.
It has changed hugely. I mean, I think across the UK, food culture's changed, which we'll talk about later on. It's changed enormously. But I think in Warrington, it has really, really changed. Yeah. There's so many influences as well. I mean, we'll talk about the Hong Kong influence afterwards. All right, so what's your favourite food?
This is always a difficult one, given all the foods that we try, but I love a good pizza. I always have. Yeah. I always just enjoy a good pizza, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the best pizza in the world. Sometimes a good dirty takeaway pizza is what you want, especially after a couple of scoops. It's some of that. But yeah, I do like a good pizza.
For me, it's got to be a sausage.
Oh yeah.
I've literally just taken delivery and I can't wait to start cooking from it. Max Haley's book, Cooking with Sausages.
Nice.
He's the sandwich guy.
Yeah.
And he's just released a book all about cooking with sausages.
Amazing.
It looks fantastic. So, right, okay, well, we're going to take a little break and go to some music, and then we'll come back to Stuart in a little while.
Good stuff.
Welcome back. You're listening to Radio Warrington. This is Movers and Shakers, and in the studio there's me, Mike Keeling, and we have Stu Snowden, otherwise known as the Grumpy Northern Foodie. We've been talking a lot about the hospitality industry. What we haven't really talked about is how tough it is.
Absolutely.
So where do you see the main challenges for hospitality at the moment?
We again, the royal we've been speaking to a lot of independent businesses as we go around. So we not trying to plug anything, but we do a food crawl around the town. We did one around Warrington Town Centre recently, and we did one in the market here, and we were in Widnes yesterday, and we try and do it for independent businesses. Not sitting here going, I'm the best, I'm doing this to this one. It just showcases and highlights what's in a town, as we mentioned before, about people not knowing what's there. The good thing is we get to speak to a lot of the business owners that are out there, and there is challenges on every front, and it's not just in hospitality, in every business as well. Yeah. But obviously we're focusing on the kind of hospitality. They're facing major challenges that are hitting the ground for them. There's something within hospitality, you have to sort of have multiple hats. You have to be a business owner, you have to be and nobody can see, but I'm doing the thing with the hats here with my hand, but you have to be a business owner, you have to be...
radio, that's
I know, yeah. Always, but yeah, so you have to be a business owner hat on, then you have to change it off to be a marketing person, then you have to change it off to be an accountant, you have to change it off to be... There's all sorts of people have to be, and they're doing multiple sides of it, and as it goes along, everything seems to... There's something else that seems to push them again, and... It's tough out there for them at the moment. Sometimes when they have the quieter days, they're not able to make ends meet. They need that Saturday to be busy. They need to put the prices up to cover the costs. There's been lots of things that have happened for small businesses that have been helpful, but I think the hospitality industry has sort of not had everything they kind of need to do. The rest of Europe. I'm generalising because I haven't been to the rest of Europe, but a lot of countries within Europe and that one the businesses are looked after in certain ways. They may not have to charge as much for the VAT. They may not have to, they may be able to get benefits from the local governments for making creating a space that they can turn into a restaurant, etc. Now that's not saying anything like that's happening here, but it's more about they're being supported as they go along.
Yeah.
It's particularly in hospitality.
Just to interrupt there, the reason why Stuart's been a little bit circumspect is I've told him he's not allowed to be political.
Absolutely.
But we can talk about things political. We just can't get into the big discussion. So you mentioned VAT.
Yeah.
There's pressure at the moment to decrease or reduce VAT for the hospitality sector because costs have gone up. What other costs have risen for hospitality?
Food costs.
Yeah.
Drinks costs.
Employment
gas,
costs.
Electricity. Yeah, and there was supposed to be, there is a benefit for smaller businesses that's out there at the moment, within the national insurance, but, I don't really know many hospitality businesses that have less than 5-6 people, and so they've missed out on that one. There's the option to support with business rates if that's something that would benefit them. There's so many options out there that can help. Everybody who is listening now will be able to know that they can walk along a high street and there is always empty shops, or the shops are one type of shop. Again, circumventing around, but obviously because they're not trying to generalise. Yeah. Whereas, what's that empty unit doing? Nothing. Where actually people, I think people's mentalities have changed as well in regards to how much they can afford to go out. So, and I've sidestepped a bit, but there is a reason behind it. Even when I was growing up, it was like you'd be able to go out for a couple of beers, go to the cinema, have something to eat, all in one night, maybe even go out into the town afterwards.
Yeah, I know where you're going, yeah.
And that was, you'd still not spend 60, 70 quid for a night out. I mean, no offence about the age, but yours was probably cheaper to do so.
At least a fiver.
Yeah. But now you pick one thing to do, generally. You might go for something to eat and then to the cinema. That's it. You don't make a whole big night of doing it. You're going to pick one thing. Yeah. And usually at times that's to go out and eat and enjoy the kind of night. And that's money into a local economy. That's money that's paying for people's wages, employing people. That's money that's going into supporting local infrastructure. It's all good. It's all good stuff. But the businesses are struggling, and being able for businesses to be able to open in a spot as well is struggling, and yeah, it's tough. There's a lot of people who have really tough. A couple of business owners we have spoken to as going around, they're practically in tears at times, going, I don't know if I'll be here in a year. I just don't know. I pump 90 hours a week and my whole savings and livelihood into this business. I want it to be successful. You've got to look at it in two terms. One, things are tough and times are tough and they don't want to put the prices up because it'll put customers off. And another way, they might not be doing something that's quite as good as they want it to be because they're trying to concentrate on all the other stuff, so they can't give their passion to it. So there's lots that's been done.
A few fairly high-profile business failures. I don't know whether I want to use the word failures, but hospitality businesses that have closed in Warrington over the past couple of years. We've seen them from a personal perspective because my wife works in hospitality. We see it all the time. What are the growth sectors in hospitality? What are you seeing? Where are you seeing growth? I think pubs. It sounds a bit strange because at the moment, you do hear in the news lots about it. And there's a few content creators that I know who are, the Great British Pub Crawl, who is championing local pubs, and he's basically around the country into every town and doing pub calls, but not in a
let's go out with the lads kind of way. He has a drink in every pub, but he showcases the pubs and talks to the owners and stuff like that one. And it's such a good watch. If anybody gets a chance to watch it,
what was that?
It's called the Great British Pub Crawl. A gent called Dale. I think he's nearly reached 10,000 pubs he's visited in the country. It's a phenomenal job he's doing, and some people don't like what he's doing, but he is trying to showcase pubs and that one. And pubs are closing at a big rate. But I think we were discussing before that there's the generational. People, there's a lot of younger people who are going back to pubs, but we need more of that. So that's a bit of a...
talking about there's like a groundswell of, not rebellion, but against the likes... I'm reluctant to mention Brewdog because I was an investor in their EFP kind of arrangement. But I know that the majority of the Brewdog pubs I went to were big, concrete, exposed beams, all that kind of, exposed wires and ducting and all that kind of stuff. Not what I would describe as a traditional pub, not a traditional drinking establishment. And from my reading, there's this sort of rebellion now where the younger people are going back to the old-fashioned boozers.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that?
Bits and pieces. I think maybe towards more the bigger towns and city centres. Yes, they've got the bigger towns and city centres have got the population around there that will kind of go to it. The outskirts and the outlying kind of areas maybe not so much. I've not hit it as hard to really give a truthful kind of response, an answer and say yes, it's happening. But you get a feeling.
My experience is I go drinking in a couple of what I would describe as the traditional pubs in Warrington. I don't mind naming them. The Albion on Battersby Lane there. You've got the Lower Angel in the centre of Warrington. They're what I would describe as traditional pubs. Yeah. And each time I go in there, they're busy.
Good.
There was one time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where I thought, it'd be great if we could open up a Brewdog in Times Square in Warrington. Yeah. But now, if it opened, I don't know whether it'd get we've got a couple of really good pubs. We've got Costello's on the square. We've got Hop Emporium here in the market, which is absolutely, both establishments are championing good quality products. It'd be interesting to see if this trend continues. But it was something I was reading about, that a lot of younger. Am I allowed to call them Gen Zers?
Yeah,
I don't know. The ones that are discovering going out for a drink now are going to old-fashioned pubs. In Manchester, for example, the Peveril of the Peak, because it's Instagrammable.
Well, yeah.
It seems to be there's this real push, this groundswell the other way, which I really like, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to rescue hospitality, but maybe it's a step in the right direction.
I actually wonder whether there is any real growth in that area, and
Well, where we are seeing growth in Warrington, if I'm being honest, is the guys that have come from Hong Kong. I think we've got a population now of Hong Kongers in Warrington over 6,000 at last count. I love it. Yeah. I've been to Hong Kong once and absolutely loved it, and my wife's friend is a Hong Konger, and we've been to Uncle Tak's Bakery, we've been to 10 Directions Grill. It's giving choice.
Yeah,
it's got to be a good thing. And a community feel. Have you experienced much of that in the outlying towns that you've been to?
I think the communities rally around these smaller businesses that are opening up. They really do kind of want to give them the best start. Yeah. So just in Manchester, the cafe we started in yesterday was the owners had only bought it a couple of weeks ago, and they were trying to do a rebrand on that one, and there was people flowing in and out, and when speaking to us, like people have been brilliant. Now it's got to carry on as well, because when something new opens, it's sort of the community does rally around and help and support. But even then, they're looking at still looking at £8, £9, £10 for breakfast. That's the standard these days in that one, and then they're worried that it's too expensive, and you're kind of like, oh, bloody hell, it's that one. But I think communities will rally around for people to support. I think there's more of an understanding around it now. We still see a lot of people, and particularly with it on socials, complaining about the price of independence.
Yeah.
When actually their costs have gone up, they have to kind of work. And actually, a few of the bigger creators, I think Spudman did it, and if people don't know, he's got 4 or 5 million followers now, and he did a little video on how much it actually costs him and what he makes per potato at a festival, and he was selling them at £7.50, £8. And actually, when you broke it down, he was only walking away with 30p per potato.
Yeah, I think if you're not in the business, though, you only see the food costs. You don't see the staff costs, you don't see the electricity, you don't see the gas, you don't see all the insurance, all this kind of stuff.
That's it. And no matter what business you're in, you need insurance. You don't, when you start, I didn't realise Do now, obviously, not saying there's any problems, but realise what you actually need. And they're not cheap. It's not even cheap there anymore.
No, that's right.
You know, and everything just from, you know, just the diesel for the generator for your van, if you haven't got the hook up there or anything like that one, that's just gone up in price.
Yeah, that's right.
And that doesn't mean people are not putting the price up, so they're taking the hit. And ultimately, when people walk away, some places we spoke to, the people who own it don't even take a wage.
I think there's an inherent belief, I think, I don't like to say the general population, but people that complain about the price of things, that it's all about companies just trying to make as much money as they can. And I think there's also this element of hospitality not being treated as a proper business. It's not, particularly on an employment basis. You know, if you look in France, for example, if you are a maitre d' or a waiter, you're treated as a profession.
Absolutely.
We don't have that culture in this country.
Nope.
You know, people say to my wife, she works in hospitality, they talk about a proper job.
It puzzles the hell out of me.
Yeah.
After somebody's worked in it for 10 to 15 years as well, we like, when are you going to get a real job, or is that just for now? What's your plans for the future?
That's right. Yeah.
It puzzles me.
My plan is to be the best at what I do.
Absolutely. And there's people who are passionate about it. There's people who really, you know, it is seen as a young person's thing. It's seen as that kind of, I can get a job in a bar while I'm at uni and stuff like that. And that's fine. That's life. That's the way it goes. But yeah, people do actually take it as a profession. And when you own, there's a lot of mentality out there. I could do that. I could run a cafe like that. Good luck. Go on, just go and do it, and go and see how tough it is for the people. You know, given the heat yesterday in the 55-degree kitchen, where the food that people are making, it's just melting in front of them, and they're having to shut to look after the staff, which I think is the right thing to do. And because they can't do it now, that's lost revenue.
Then the keyboard warriors start complaining about it, don't they? Saying, "Oh well, in 1976 it was hot." Oh yeah, it was, but it wasn't.
I think we understand a little bit more about that heat as well now. You know,
Absolutely.
I think if you do a bit of research on it, you know, the 250 people were 250 people died in 1976. I think now with having these warnings going out and a bit more we know about climate, the climate changes and stuff like that one, these red warnings are there for a reason, because, you know, it helps people prepare to not be rushed into hospital if they're ill. It helps people go, I can plan my business around this because I know there's an issue. But people still complain. But that lost revenue they've lost yesterday. Exactly. That's not coming back.
That could be make or break for that business.
And I think we did. I think you know, and I get the trolls, I get the usual kind of stuff on social media. I put a post out a while ago, and the last heat wave that was out was like when people were shutting. I was like, just as a little thing, saying, guys, your local businesses are closing, right? Please just give them that extra support this week. They've had a rough winter. They've had a tough time in that one. And one comment that popped up going, well, if they choose to close, why should I bother going back to them? And I was a bit like, oof. In the end, I was like, do you know what?
You wouldn't have the opportunity to go back to them.
Absolutely, and that's a shame. It's a shame when it was happening. All it was is just to try and shout out and go, give them some support this week, because it's been tough.
Well, I'm going to. You mentioned trolls before, and I'm going to ask you a question which I saw a few days ago, and yeah, it was a troll question, and I'm going to ask you and see what your thoughts are. Somebody said to me, "Is he only in that game just to get free food?"
Free food? Love to get lots of free food. That'd be amazing. Honestly, I would love to get free food. So as a content creator, you kind of, you get paid off the video views that you do, and things like that one. Do we get free food? At times you do. There are some business owners that refuse to let us, and when I say refuse, they refuse to let us pay. Not all of them. When we go out on our food calls, we want to pay. We want to put money back into them for the things that we do, and we do. A lot of the times we pay for all the stuff that we get, all the supermarket stuff we end up buying, etc. It's part of the business. We pay for that. We get the video view revenue back that helps support and keeps rolling with it. We do our food calls, and we get some local businesses to sponsor. So you know, yesterday for the Witness one, a local business, the Giggle Shack, who does comedy nights, they sponsored us to come out there, which means I'm not saying I've got money to pay, but it's like I can go in, I can pay for the stuff, we can get the big dishes, we can get all the stuff we want and really showcase what they do, and that's the whole idea behind getting a sponsor for that. It's not. There is a misconception that people who do stuff on social media are rolling in money. Some people are, by the way. Some people are, and you know, unfortunately, there's people who do go out and go, you know, they want paying to get reviews done and stuff like that one. We work with businesses. Say, do you want to showcase? Do you want to work with us directly, and we can scream shout about the business and do that one? Yeah, we can talk about it. We can do what we want. But if if you've not got them there, then let's just go and give you a shout when we're out and about, when we're in the area. Guaranteed, we want to make sure that anybody who goes, like, come on down, come and give us a try. We'll try and get there, but we're so busy doing lots of other stuff, we don't always make it. We try and do that. We don't just do it for free food or something. We do it because we enjoy it as well.
Well, that comment was by Barry48679 on...
Anonymous user 67291's friend,
That's it. So, well, thanks for that. We're going to go to another one of your tunes and then a couple of other ones afterwards. But this is also one of my favourites. So here we go, Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. Welcome back to Movers and Shakers. We're here with me, Mike Keeling, and we have Stuart Snowden, who is not from the Grumpy Northern Foodie. You are the Grumpy Northern Foodie.
Yeah, technically,
and we just played a couple of Stuart's tunes. So, Love Will Tear Us Apart, interesting tune, probably one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Not the cheeriest, but why did you choose it?
Love it. Just absolutely love it. It's one of those. Yeah, it's.
What does it say to you?
For me, it reminds me of when I was in university. It was one of those tunes that was played in a nightclub called 42s in Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
So
it used to be 42nd Street. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, 42. We called it. We were going 42s and that one. And it was one of those things that came on and the dance floor went nuts because the history behind it. Obviously,
it's not a dance track, is it?
No, but they just used to play all the indie songs and everything to do with the kind of the Manchester music scene and things like that. But it was just. It just takes me back to that. It's one of my favourite songs.
Because when you were listening to that in Manchester at uni, it was an old tune then, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Was it 79?
Something like that, yeah. It was late 70s. So it was an old tune then, but it's synonymous with the music scene, isn't it? In Manchester, it's that whole era of you look at the history of Joy Division and that one, it's people weren't musicians full time at all. They were doing it as a part-time job.
I mean, there's some people say Peter Hook's not a musician at the moment, but
yeah.
And I don't think Mr. Sumner's really a singer. But anyway, let's.
You're making it political now, I think.
Yeah, I'll probably get strangled for that. And then another track of yours, which was How Soon Is Now by the Smiths.
Same reason, completely, absolutely the same reason. There's
a
lot
banger, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's when you get those songs that you kind of, when it pops on and you go, oh yes, and you just turn the radio up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know, with the Smiths, we know Morrissey isn't always the isn't favoured by a lot of people at times, and that's fine. But the tunes that they used to knock out, some of them are nuts, aren't they? Some of them are absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
But think of it through the kind of flow with Enjoying Oasis and that one. Who were their inspirations in Manchester, and it was people like this as well. So it kind of all flows on hand. But yeah, same reason. One of those songs that came on that you think is when you're 19, 20, you're like, yes, even though that was an old song then as well. So so it's all good.
Well, my view, the best song ever written is Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve.
Oh yeah.
What's yours?
Well, you see, I nearly put that in the list because I was looking at the Verve as well, going, but again, I wanted to, kind of mix it up on that one. What is my favourite song? There is
what's the best song ever written?
The best song ever written?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really tough one because people will really give me
if you don't say Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve, you may as well go out the studio.
But you see, I really enjoy Ian Brown, FEAR.
Oh yes,
because just the way he's kind of put all that together, using the words, is just brilliant. And so I do like that one. But I wouldn't say it's difficult to say the best song ever written. There's a lot.
Well, I will brook no argument.
Fair enough. We'll go with that one then.
But anyway, there you go. Just while we were off air, we were talking about pricing in hospitality, and I used the example that I paid for a Reuben sandwich yesterday, which was the best Reuben sandwich I've ever eaten, but it cost me £9.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you stand on price versus value at the moment? Because I think there's a lot of people who say, oh, that's so expensive, but when you're not considering what goes into it.
I think to be fair, there's maybe an educational piece around small businesses and how tight it is for them, and that's not saying people are uneducated, by the way. That's me saying it's just people just don't know what the ins and outs, as we discussed before, potentially about even just insurances and how much things are costing these days for a business to stay open. People. One of the comments we did, we put a breakfast out there, $12.50 for your standard full English breakfast, 2 and 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 2 eggs, and somebody's that one. And some of
the the internationally recognised formula for full English?
I don't know. I just go with the 222. In my head, I feel that makes me nice and full on that one. So we It could be, it could be the way to go forward, isn't it? What, you're having a 2, 2 and 2. Funnily enough, so I used to work for a gent who always wanted a breakfast with a 2, 2 and 2, and that's how it stuck in my head. But we could post a little post about that one, and people will say, I can go to a supermarket and get all the ingredients that and cook my own full English for 4 people for less than that. Can you? Absolutely you can. But that's because the supermarkets are able to purchase power buy, are able to drive prices down for suppliers, butchers, industries, etc. They can push them to the limit on what they do, and of course you can get them cheaper. I actually think that the local businesses are likely to go to the local butchers, get better quality sausages, better quality bacon, etc. And a lot of them we speak to do, and then you're kind of going, well, it is that, but the small business owner isn't just somebody who's working there. They're literally funding their life, their family. That some of them don't take a wage, and even at that $12.50, they're employing local people. They're employing. There's an ecosystem around it, where they buy from the butchers, so the butchers can afford to employ people, and the butchers can go straight to the farm a bit more. It all works hand in hand as it goes around, and if we don't start paying into the place in that one, they will go, they will disappear. The supermarkets, I think they do charge too much at times. Some of the supermarkets make a lot of money, and you can just go and Google and check. Go and Google, and you can see a few of the supermarkets. They're making billions in profit. Not all, some billions, and you're like, it's a staple. What? Everybody's allowed to make a profit, of course. Otherwise, the world doesn't function, does it? Really? But you kind of look at it that way and go, if you're happy to pay into the supermarket, then it's a treat. It's an enjoyable day. You have somebody cook your breakfast for you. You don't have to look at it yourself. It's tough. It's tough to listen to when people say that one. And I'll always champion an independent that price themselves, like you said. The £9 for the sandwich in that one, and it was amazing. You said it was amazing, that one, but there is.
Oh, it was off the scale.
The likelihood is from that sandwich they may make 50p profit. That's before they've even taken a wage.
Yeah, very true.
And that's the reality of where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have got some great breakfast places. Like that in Warrington now.
Absolutely.
I don't know whether it's my place to mention names, but Alma. Oh, great, amazing.
Not been.
You
We'll have to give it a try.
Absolutely superb. And then, of course, Baker J's here in the market.
I was just going to say, do you know what? I enjoy going in for just the proper hearty breakfast.
Yeah. And
you can pick and choose. The doorstop bread they serve with it as well. Buttered, melted, ready to go. Yeah, it's good.
And then come to Two Brothers for a coffee.
Absolutely.
But I'm maybe slightly biased. So where do you see things going there, Stu? What are your plans for what you're doing now? How do you see it growing? I've
been told at times I can come up with ideas and just go bang, 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 and off I go. And I get reined in by my wife quite a bit because obviously to concentrate on what's in front of us. But I would love to eventually open my own place and open my own kind of restaurant, cafe spot, whatever. It's always been an ambition, man. I want to do that one with the opportunity I've got now while we grow the business. Look, if on social media we can grow a little bit bigger and keep pushing towards 1 million followers at some point, that'll be wonderful. But we take it as the opportunity to build the social media agency side we've got and pop into other things. We might do some products. We might, we want to open a place at some point. As I said, it's all about, just doing something that we enjoy and love as well. That's where I see us going. So, but we'll roll with what comes in front of us as well. So we'll, whatever opportunity comes a knock in, we'll see if it works, like any business owner would do, and go, is this feasible? Can we do it? Do we think we can do well with it? Do you think it's going to fit in with the brand we do? Then let's do it and enjoy it. So
as an influencer content creator, you've got to be fairly on top of trends and things. What do you think the latest trends are?
You see, a lot of people do ask that question. Now, being in the niche we're in, food-centred, the current trends at the moment for food is the supermarkets trying new different viral products. Other niches, as we call them, they will be doing their own kind of trends. And I don't even see half of these things. The people who are wanting to do the dances online on TikTok and dance into a song or lip sync into certain songs, that could be the trend in their niche. But yeah, at the moment it's viral supermarket food, and supermarkets trying to jump on that bandwagon. And let's be honest with what I do, of course we jump on the bandwagon. The one we did this week was from Marks & Spencer's. They brought out their strawberries and cream sandwich and a pistachio and chocolate sandwich filled with strawberries as well. Now, It's definitely a sandwich. It's made with sweetened bread because they've taken the inspiration from the Japanese sandos.
Yeah.
And you mentioned before about trying them as
Had
well.
them in Tokyo and Kyoto. Yeah, amazing.
So, and that's the kind of the general trend on that one. A lot of content creators in the go, buy it in the supermarket, sit in the car and eat it in the car, with filming themselves eating in the car,
Is that not just a bit of a lazy way of doing it?
I think it's become what people do.
Right.
And it becomes recognisable of what you're doing. So before, people were always like, why are you always eating in the car? I don't do it. I do. I go home with my stuff, but because I've got a kind of studio set up at home in the kitchen. So it's best to do it there to get the best lighting and that we use. But yeah, people do it in the car because you get natural light from outside. Yeah. It's quick and easy. You can sit in front of you and go, right, phone there, do it. My car's a tip. I'm not going to do it in my car. I've got 3 kids.
Yeah. Okay.
There's sausage oil flakes everywhere and things like that one. But that's the kind of trending stuff that happens at the moment. And one of the biggest trends that people do is they try and be the first to post about it online now. There's almost like the sooner you get there, the better. If you're one of the first, you can go viral. So that's what's happening in the food niche at the moment. So yeah.
And humour seems to be a big thing as well at the moment.
Personality, definitely. Yeah. People doing some funny stuff online and messing around. It's almost like getting back to growing up, Harry Enfield and Chums, The Fast Show, they're the kind of comedy shows you'd watch. Yeah. Stuff like that. They're not aired anymore. Some of them are not allowed to be aired anymore because of and things like that one. Yeah. For obvious reasons, really. But now people can do it online, and people will watch doing comedy sketches online, and it's just normal day-to-day life, but they make it funny as well. Yeah, there's a few creators I follow on Facebook who are doing that one, and I'll sit there, and before you know, I've been scrolling for 30 minutes going, right, back to it.
I've got so many questions for you. Another one's just popped up. Just thought about it then. So you're going doing a food crawl. So you did the one here in Warrington Market. Yeah. You did one yesterday in Widnes.
Yep. We did Warrington Town Centre a couple of weeks ago as well.
Do you eat everything?
Yes and no. I think is the best way to explain it. No. But we take it home with us, and that's the main thing as well. So we try not to let anything go to waste.
That's what I was going to ask.
We struggle. We did a very first one in Frodsham. Local next time we'll come, let's test this out. And the first venue we went to, I ate the full breakfast. By venue number 3 out of 8, I was regretting life choices at that point. And
you were getting the meat sweats.
It was awful, and it wasn't because there was anything wrong with it. We just our stomach was hurting. I was like, I can't actually do this. And we learned from that not to eat in every place. What we try and do is you try and basically we bag it up, take it home, and we've got some left over from yesterday. That we've got some cakes, and we've got some. We went to a Turkish restaurant yesterday. We've got some of that with us as well. So we're gonna. That's tea tonight. So. We'll make sure we try and not waste anything. So even with the supermarket stuff we do at home, so we do the full ranges of stuff. So we'll go and get 30 ready meals. I know, calling myself a foodie, technical term for a foodie is someone who enjoys food as a hobby, but calling yourself a foodie, people think it's got to be gourmet stuff and that one. Ready meals are food. So we do that, and we invite family round, and we go, right, we can have 11 people around the table, 12 people, all tucking into it as we go along as well. So we don't try and waste anything. But yeah, I can't eat it all. I'm not.
I was going to say, that was going to be my next question. How do you stay so trim?
Exercise.
Right, okay.
You've got to just hit it. Got a treadmill at home, and we just hit it as much as possible. Anytime. Walk everywhere as well. So on a food crawl, we did one through Southport as well a couple of weeks ago, and by the end of the day, you're looking at what you're clocking 20,000 steps because you're walking back and two, and you're having to go around. So every day you just keep exercising and stuff like that one, and don't overeat. So I'll try and do it. Yeah. It's just
that's kind of stands to reason, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, we're just going to go back to some music, and then we'll come back and talk to Stuart before the end of the show. Welcome back, albeit briefly, because with Stuart being an amazing talker, we've actually run out of time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's been great. It's been great. It's been absolutely fantastic. So thanks ever so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
Hopefully we'll go and grab a coffee downstairs.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely, carry on.
All it remains for me to say is thanks to Stuart, thanks for listening, and can I just give everybody a little reminder that tomorrow afternoon from 12 until 2 is Schools Out, and that's being presented by the students from St Gregory's High School in Great Sankey. Is it Great Sankey or is it Westbrook? I can't remember. Anyway, St Gregory's are coming in to run a show. Amazing. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in a month's time.